The 19th century philosopher Kant has been variously quoted as saying that you need to have both theory and application, and one of them isn't any good without the other. And so last week we launched into a justification for theory, and this week and next week we want to look at our the other side of that, the practical application of it, which in this course is going to evolve around the theme of inequality. And this week we'll start by showing that that these categories of inequality that come to us are socially constructed. Socially constructed means that there isn't anything physiological about people that needs to put them into various categories of class, gender, sexuality. All of those things are, in the cases of human beings, are pretty much socially constructed, and for reasons that you'll see in the readings. In the case of the article by Gans, he is talking about how social class is constructed, and he goes through nine reasons why you have to be very careful or even avoid socially constructing classes, because by labeling people you can load them up with so much stuff that it makes escaping poverty impossible for them. And so he gives us a view on that, but what it boils down into in the end is that these socially constructed classes are nothing that we can't change given the right ideas and the right resources. And then the second article by Nobles, which you'll see carries over into next week as well as we study the more fundamentals of social construction, is a study of the U.S. Census from 1790 to the present. And in this, Nobles shows the idea of race has been treated in every conceivable fashion by the U.S. Census. And in the beginning, I think that race was just kind of, an ethnic, it was just a Western ethnic thing that they were interested in. Of course, it was influenced by the fact that in the U.S. slavery was an issue at the time, and so they wanted to know how many slaves there were in the country. On the other hand, in the Constitutional Convention, there had been an agreement made between the northern and southern states that the southern states would get to count slaves as people, so that there would be enough votes to kind of balance out the north and south. But of course, slaves were not allowed to vote. They were just counted as partial persons. And if anything brings out the idea that class is a social construction, why a race is a social construction, why that should give you a hint into that. But then in the 1800s, they go into a period of extreme social Darwinism, which curiously, it was argued that the different races rose from different species of human beings, and so they were inherently unequal, kind of following the arguments of Darwin, although all of that by now has been utterly rejected and has been for some time. But what we're concerned with here is seeing how how the social construction process goes on, because they were actually trying to use the data from the U.S. Census to uh, verify these ideas about social Darwinism. And then that proceeds through, some other changes. Obviously, the social Darwinism part of it is kind of abandoned, although certainly not the concept of race. But the 20th century is a history of struggling with how you ask people about race when race doesn't really exist in any real sense, particularly in the United States, where the races are so mixed up in their history. Okay, see you next week. Enjoy your reading.